Hey, what's up guys? We're going to create something very cool.
And as you can see, I've always loved superheroes.
Yo. So this is the main mechanism, the main body. You have a little cap that basically covers everything. And then you have this sort of stick that goes along the whole body, which you trigger by pushing these two pins down. I'm gonna show you right now how to sort of assemble it. It doesn't really make sense for now, but you can see I also have this, which essentially just connects the body with my hand. I don't know, pretty cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and try it out. So the whole mechanism is controlled by this little spring, which is the force. You essentially just put it through here, feed it through. It's a little bit tough, but you know, it's an old one. Once you pull these ones down, that's what it shoots. I don't know if I appreciate the string, but. Yeah, I think I broke it. Damn. Any man. So now let me show you guys what I'm working on currently. This is sort of a drawing. This is the actual Spider-Man web shooter that we're trying to replicate. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in. Yes, it's very clinky. It looks sort of like a hot dog. And it's actually from the movie that's coming up, which is called Brand New Day. So this is the newest one after, you know, everybody forgets about our friendly neighborhood Spider, Peter Parker man. And yeah. So this is sort of the drawing that I have going on for it. It's like a hot dog, like I said. I'm guessing it has like 2 holes in the center one. I don't know, I'm just messing with it right now. This is sort of to scale what it's gonna look like. It's kind of big, but again, it's the reference. So essentially my plan is to have these springs somehow connected at the top. Some type of, I don't know, maybe a bolt or some stick-like thing at the bottom, and ideally I'll be able to pull these down, lock them somehow, and I'm thinking with the motion and a string or something to actuate that so it releases, sort of like a bow. That's the original idea, but I'll show you guys what I end up coming up with. More springs. Also, all the images that I was able to find about this device, they're pretty blurry. That's because the movie is kind of new still, and we just have a trailer and a couple pictures. But I'll try my best to make it work and look as the original, you know, trailer one. But yeah, all that matters is that it works. Alright guys, so there's been some progress. I was thinking that it would be pretty cool to have some exchangeable strings. So I thought of these ones. These ones are for like sewing and stuff. And the whole system, I'm thinking to move it a little bit down, leave some spaces right here for this thing to be housed. I'm also gonna implement some like hinges stuff so you can like open it. It's gonna be pretty cool, so it's all one piece. And then the springs, since I moved this down, I have to change them for some smaller ones, but it's the same idea. Essentially this goes here, somehow pull it down or maybe push it down. It connects to some of the thing. This is the side view of the connection thing. And this is what's gonna actuate the whole thing. I'm thinking like a string that's attached to like my fingers or something. Once you pull, this will pull it down. It'll release the tension that it has, and then it's gonna like shoot, I guess this way, depending if you're looking at it sideways or top view. I'm not quite sure if it's gonna work, but time will tell. Yo, what's up guys? Currently it's 1:28 in the morning. I haven't been able to go to sleep because I was thinking about the whole design and everything. And I talked to a friend of mine, explained him the whole idea. I was like, hey, it'd be pretty cool like if I made this stuff or whatever. He's also an engineer, so he was like, oh, it'd be pretty cool if it could retract and everything. And I was like, oh, that's like double the effort because we're adding a motor, batteries, and like a retrieving mechanism, and it would also make the design like chunkier than it already is. But you know, once I got into my head, I was like, oh, it'd be sick. It'd be pretty cool if we could retract it automatically. And so yeah, I started looking online, and I found like this little motor, which is 12 by 24. I made this one sort of to scale, so we can see sort of how it looked like. I was thinking of placing it right here, and the string would be fed through this thing, and pull it in, you know, make a little spool. And then for the batteries, the AAA batteries and all those cylindrical ones that we all know and love, they're too big. So I was thinking of using like the ones that the what's it called, the Artex have. So they look like little discs, like little coins. And I found like a holder online, which is pretty slick, pretty thin, and I could put it like on, like at the bottom of this thing. I can't go through the paper, but you guys will see. Hopefully, if I can make it work. But yeah, that's the whole idea. This will scrap this idea at the top, so I guess we'll move the mechanism back again to the front. Incorporate this thing here, the batteries, I guess at the bottom, which you can't see, and then some other little things. Also for the actuation mechanism that will like shoot the thing, the string, I don't think is gonna work. So I was thinking of like a button, so you press a button and it releases the tension. It sounds easier than it actually was, but this is sort of little. Let me zoom in. So yeah, like I was saying, this is gonna be our button. I know it doesn't look like a button right now, but in my brain it makes sense. You know, you have a spring for tension, which is always gonna push it out, and then you know it's gonna lock into place once we pull back the bullet. Locked into place, if you can imagine that. And once you press that, it releases the tension, and that's the idea. But anyways, finding the specific screw was kind of hard because I needed the specific, I guess, height of it or length of it or whatever. And it's very important because if it's too long, then it's gonna make the whole device chunkier because it's gonna be like, I guess, the side view of it. If you make it too long, it's too chunky, but if you make it too short, the spring doesn't have enough tension to pop it out. Fortunately, we have a good amount of bolts and stuff here in our fake shop. So yeah, we got lucky with that. $8 that I don't have to spend. The only thing we're gonna spend on is the motor and the batteries and the battery holder. And maybe something to solder because my soldering thing is kind of whack, but we'll see. Anyways, good night guys, and I'll keep you guys updated. Yo guys. So essentially what we have here is sort of like light, but I don't know how it works because it has like 4 connector types. So we're just gonna mess with our power supply here to try to see if we can turn it on and see if we can incorporate it somehow into our web shooters, because I think it would be pretty cool. But I guess we'll see. So we'll find out. Cool, I have it set up at 3 volts and hopefully I don't explode. Okay, so doesn't seem like it's doing anything. But maybe. Oh. So weird. So right now I have it at 2.4, but it's alternating a lot. So I'm guessing the other 2 are to control, you know, the actual colors. So that's pretty interesting. So that's 1.7. That is 2. That is 2.45. That is 2.8. That is 3. Ooh, that is 4. 4.24. I like this one. This is what I was telling you guys about. So essentially you have your positive and then you have your negative on the other side. And these other 2 connectors, I think they're just for, you know, being able to control what type of color and patterns and times between, I don't know, blinking or whatever. But for the purpose of our thing, I think it'd be pretty cool if as soon as we turn on the mechanism to reel-in back the web, that it would automatically turn it on as well, since it'd be passing through the same. I guess. Oh, they're kind of blinding me. Hold up. So that's 1. That's 2, baby. A bit of more. That's cool. I'm gonna go more because, oops, that's cool. I'm gonna go more just because I want to see how much it takes before it fries it. That way we have like a range of voltage that we can play with. 4.9, that's 5.4, that's 5.7, perfect. Ooh, 6.2, that's amazing. Doesn't radiate that much heat, but I do feel a little bit hot. It's super interesting. So it's great that it could withstand 6 volts, and that's because that's how much the max output of our batteries will be. So this is perfect. I'm gonna try to incorporate it into the design. Here we are. This is the first testing prototype. I printed it in green because, well, I don't really like the filament, so I'll waste it on this. We have some issues right here. This one was too big, so whenever you try to close it, it kind of makes a mess. That's why I put this for temporary purposes. Also for the thing that goes for the motor. That one also was not the good size, so I'm making it a little bit bigger, smaller, I don't remember. And yeah, the whole mechanism for the spring, I was trying it out right now, and I don't think there's enough tension for these to like launch it pretty far, as well as the mechanism for actually launching it. That one was having some issues, so I'm gonna try something different, see if it works. Yeah, just some different parts, a little bullet, and the little lock for when you close the door. You can close it right here. Obviously I haven't soldered anything because I want to have the mechanism working first. This is the version 2. I went ahead and did all the changes that were necessary for it to fit more properly. We have the top piece right here, we have the bottom piece right here, and all the components back there. And essentially I'm gonna play with it some more, see what I can change, and then try to do the final print if this is pretty good. But again, I wouldn't know until I end up cleaning this piece up and putting it all together. But yeah, this is how it's looking so far. I went ahead and also did some decorating features on the top just so it looks kind of similar to the picture. I'll show you guys the end result of the second version.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off. Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon.
Not gonna lie, there was a lot of good improvements from version 1 to the second version. Some of them being the extended width, so we could have more of a tension for the springs, which makes the bullet go further. And as you can see, it's nice and smooth. I did come into some issues regarding some of the parts. So for example, one thing that I didn't notice for this one, for the second version, let me go ahead and get something sharp. So this one right here fits pretty well, but then if you look at the cover for it, right here, this should be cut right here. So when I close this doesn't allow me to, I guess, close it properly. So just little things like that. What other thing do I remember? The thing that attaches to the motor, it's a little bit too tight, so I need to make it bigger so we could actually like put it through. And this is gonna be the mechanism for the string. So there's a little channel that goes through here, and once you feed the bullet, it'll be attached to the string, and hopefully once I solder everything later down, I'll be able to press a button, the motor turns on, and it pulls the string through. Another of the issues that I saw, for example, for this one, for the lights, this thing right here is too big, too loose, so I need to make it tighter. Just little things like that here and there. I'm gonna go ahead and make a third version. Hopefully that's the last version before the final. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that can make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing.
Yo, what up guys? If you guys were ever wondering how I take notes of the different things that I change or I need to change, I just make little drawings of them. You can't really understand it, but I know what each drawing means and sort of how much I need to change. A lot of people have told me that it's bad to like estimate and do stuff, but for me it works pretty well. I mean, usually I have a good sense of measurements and like different distances, and in my brain I sort of work it out. For example, this one right here, this piece right here, when you go all the way back, yes, it's more tension, but I realized that when it goes all the way to the top, that the springs are still in tension, meaning that it doesn't fully use that whole, I guess, power. So right here I have a little mark that I made. I'm gonna remove this in the CAD, and I'm gonna print it again. That way we have the full range all the way from here to the end. Obviously that would complicate some other things, like for example this stick, since it would technically be more down, it would have a hard time aiming to the center of the hole. So now I need to make like a little channel for this thing to be able to be guided through, and just little things like that. That's a bad part about, like, I guess, changing stuff. Once you change it, it affects everything else. More when it comes to compact things like this. But I mean, that's the process, man. I love it. It's fun. So far, this is how it's looking. We're gonna have the two batteries at the back. One's gonna be charging the motor, and the other one's gonna be charging the two LEDs that we're gonna have at the front. And yeah. Oh, for example, one of the changes that I had was the thickness for the square where the LED is gonna be, I guess, connected to. So I was like tightening the square, so making it smaller. And then the hinges, making the little hinge, the inside of the hole, the diameter a little bit bigger, so it's not super tight when I put this screw. Also, this one's already completed, that's why I scratched them out. But yeah, the idea for version 2, instead of having a little button that's like spring loaded, that one was having a lot of trouble, so I decided to make like a little lever instead. So that's why it's like an L shape. Imagine this is closed, I pull it all the way back, and then I locked it with this. It would be under tension, I just release the lock, and then everything. So that's how this one's gonna work. For this one right here, the middle one, the thing that I changed was essentially the motor thing. Let me see if I could focus it. On the right, we have the motor itself. I got this CAD from the internet. It was the closest one that I had. And then I designed it my two pieces. This red piece is gonna be attached to the motor, and this one's gonna be, I guess, freeformed. And the only way that's gonna be connected to the red one is just by the cylinder that's inside. I'll show you right now. So there's a cylinder right there, and there's gonna be a spring right here between the two. There's like a hole right here. Let me see if I could display it real quick. There's a hole right here, which I'm gonna put like a little spring, and that's just gonna keep this blue piece away from it. So whenever I wanna engage the motor, I press this blue one. It connects the two gears or teeth together, and that's how it creates that rotation. And then if I let go, the spring is gonna push it back, and even if the motor's on, this thing is gonna be just free floating. Yeah, going back to the chains that I have here, for some reason in real life, when I was trying to connect this piece with the motor itself, for some reason it would get like stuck, and I was like, why would it get stuck? Long story short, I measured the shaft of the motor, and this shaft, as you could see, let me go ahead and split it real quick. Yeah, so this is the motor. It's split in half. It has a little notch, so this whole shaft is supposed to be cylindrical, but right here on the notch, it's a flat side. That flat side is usually so you can put like a screw, so you can sort of attach anything to the shaft of the motor. And on the CAD design from the internet that I found, this little notch was pushed, I don't know if it was more back or more forward, but essentially the part that I printed wasn't aligning with the real life motor. It was aligning with the motor that I found from the internet. So I had to measure it and then edit the CAD from the online model, and then I would change the other one to match that one so I could have a precise fit, because yeah, it wasn't working. It was like sort of coming out of it like right there instead of fully in. But yeah, little changes like that are the ones that really get you. I guess the devil's in the details.
And after 3 hours, the third version of the warp shooter has been printed. I'm gonna go ahead and see, after cleaning it and everything, what I'm missing or what works well, what doesn't, and try to fix those before the final version.
Alright guys, good news, bad news. I'm kidding, there's no good news. It's all bad. Anyways, so this is the version 3. Right here we have the little mechanism and everything. Long story short, I think I'm gonna do a whole switcheroo regarding how I'm gonna go with the springs, because the first design, this one, I'll put it on the screen. That one, it was with a spring that was like this one, and you would put it on each bullet. And so I was like, oh, it'd be cool if it was like a little bow. So that's why I switched from that one into this ones, which are tension based. But I realized that it's a little bit more finicky. The springs themselves, they sort of don't have the same lengths, and like these little hooks, they don't come, I guess, prefabricated that good. So I had to like modify some of them so they're not the same, which instead of going like straight, sometimes it goes like to the side, which causes it to like jam into this one, or sometimes it does work but the bullet doesn't go that far. Another problem that I've been seeing with these springs after several uses, you sort of start losing, I guess, tension because you deform the metal for the springs. And so yeah, it's just a whole mess. I was thinking I'm gonna try to do another quick version with springs like the other ones, but instead of having on the bullet, I'll still try to do it on the mechanism, and I'll have them like down here somewhere. So that way we can get rid of these tension ones, and then just with like the tensioning of the compressive, I guess, springs, that would cause it to actuate. I'm also gonna modify these little parts so there's not like a gap between this and this, just because I don't want it to like keep hitting the sides like it's been doing recently. But yeah, I'll play around with it some more and see what I can come up with. I was able to finally change it to compressive springs mechanism, and this is how it looks. I tried it once just without the string stuff and anything, and the bullet shoots 2 times or 3 times as further away than the other system that we had, so I think that's a success. It's a little bit finicky, but I mean, what can you do about it? So I'm gonna go ahead and print it with the transparent white one, and then after I print that one and I clean it up like this one, I'll make sure to start assembling everything and make sure this one's like fully all the way to the bottom. And yeah, after we put the motor and everything, we'll put the batteries at the back and solder the motor to the batteries, and also start attaching the LEDs. Good morning, fellas. Another day has passed, and I went ahead and printed the last version in black and transparent, although the transparent one looks kind of white. There's no really reason for this. I just like how it would look, but if anything, I'll just switch it to one color. We'll see. So I'm gonna clean it up, assemble it, and then try to wire the stuff to see if it works. Guys, I went ahead and cleaned up the print, and this is how it looks. And this is our first attempt at shooting it. We'll see how far it goes. I'm scared. Oh well. Let me try it again. Attempt number 2. I'm gonna try to aim it more down this time. That was good. Nice. A good 15 feet, I think. Hey, what's up, guys? Here we are. Finally made it to the assembly of the whole thing. I went ahead and placed everything just on the table randomly. I'll walk you through a little bit what everything is and what I need to do, what I don't need to do, whatever. So right here we have all our pieces. I know it looks a little bit complex and like messy and everything, but it's just part of the process. We have our 2 battery holders, which is gonna house the little, I like to call them coin batteries because they look like a coin. But this one's, they're just normal batteries that you can put on air tags, for example. Each one of these batteries displays 3 volts, and yeah, we have one for the lights and then we have one for the motor. So we have this on the side. We have our main body, which is gonna house everything, right? We also have the transparent white piece that goes on the top. This is like the cover. And right here for the hinge, we're gonna use one of these little bolt. And then this bolt's too long, so we're gonna go ahead and cut it right now with the Dremel. We're gonna cut it with the Dremel. I think that's gonna be one of our first steps. I have 2 of them because I was thinking of making 2 web shooters, but we'll see if we're gonna do that. And then we also have this little, I like to call it a submarine. This is gonna be going right here. And then we have our motor with our makeshift gear. It goes this way. You sort of have to put everything together. I forgot to put the spring here, but I'll put it right now. And then we have our slider, it goes right here. I'm also gonna put 2 springs right here so we can, put the tension right here. And right now the last thing that I made was the bullet, if I can find it. Oh, here it is. This is the bullet. I don't know how well you can see it. I'm gonna put a design in front of you guys so you can see it, but essentially we have a big nut and a bolt inside of here. And then the reason why I changed it from the bottom magnet to this version is because the magnet would just pull off because of all the force. And right here I'm gonna glue another magnet at the top because I wanted to like stick to something. Another big change that we made, we're gonna change from the normal sewing string to a nylon version just because it's stronger. When I tried to test it with the normal one, the force would be so great that it would like rip the string apart, so we're not gonna use this one no more. What else? We got our springs, we got a couple extras in different color variations. And then the cool thing about the bullet, I also made, well I didn't make this one, I bought this little nut bolt extension, which is gonna tie to what we have underneath. That way when we put the string, I don't need to tie anything, I can just screw it in. So I think that's a pretty little neat feature for it. We have our tools for assembling the whole thing. I also have the big spider, I like to call it. This just helps us grab it. You guys already saw it on the LED. We're gonna use it to solder things. We also have a couple extra nuts and bolts on this side, as well as our LED right here, and some little screws as well. Also for safety, I have these glasses. I'm just gonna use them for when I'm soldering or cutting. Here we have that bolt that I told you about. We're gonna go ahead and cut it right here at the mark. I low-key forgot if it's like underneath or right at it. Here we have our Dremel, cool Dremel. Nice. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm just gonna go ahead and switch the tool so we can sand off the end. That way it's sharp, so we can use it as a screw for the hinge. I went ahead and cut the other one. I got the sanding bit. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it. It's good practice to unplug it before doing this, but because if it's on, you don't wanna, if it's connected, you don't wanna turn it on. But sometimes in life, just gonna play it. These are the screws that we just cut out, and we're gonna go ahead and put the hinge. So I made this diameter hole a bit bigger, this one as well, and the last one, it's smaller, so when you put the screw, you can just tighten it on, at least in theory. So let's see. I can aim right because I can't see. There you go. Cool. So I just need a little Phillips screwdriver. Here it is. Cool. So there you go, we have a hinge on. The next thing that I wanted to do was to do the soldering at the back. This is a lock that essentially locks the hood so it doesn't open anymore. Pretty solid. So yeah, the next thing is going to be attaching these with the battery holders. These battery holders, they have the two slots for the batteries. And right here you can't really see it, but there's two holes where you can attach some screws or some bolts. The thing is, when I ordered these, it didn't come with anything, so I'll just use whatever I have laying around. That doesn't have to look great, it just has to work. So the last version that I tried, I tested the bolts that I wanted to use for the battery holders, and I think they were M2. So let's see, these ones. But now I just need to figure out which length would be the appropriate one. Doing this probably would have been better if I did it during the day, but yeah. I have an interview sort of tomorrow, so I want to be able to have this ready by then, so I could flex it, be like, yo, what I have. So these ones are too long. So it should be fine. I'm gonna need two of them. Two of them ready. Let's see. since these ones didn't come with any screws or anything, obviously the holes are not gonna match that well, so I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger. A little nothing. So we struggle less. So the other one might as well. It also sucks because this tab keeps closing on me. There you go, perfect. Actually, we're just gonna do one. I wonder if it's green. I think it is, but yeah, I think so. Oh yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, it's not fully there yet, but we're getting there. That's what matters. That stuff. Great. There we go. I don't want to do it too tight because I'm gonna sort of mess it up, so just leave it like that. Yeah, we'll look for smaller, shorter ones, because the one that I just picked, since it's on the side, it has more to grab onto, but the other one has to be shorter. So we'll see how that goes. This might work. I kind of want to go for these ones, but let me check the cat real quick to see that thickness that I have for that. And then if that's too much, I'm just gonna add washers to this one and we'll see. We'll test that out. So that thickness for this this platform is 3 millimeters. Let's see. We have our beautiful caliper here that's been with us for years now. Let's measure out 3. Oh yeah, this is way too long. Way too long, buddy. I would add, let me see. I have a crazy idea.